Hi, and welcome to the Central Prairie Railway. Today we're going to have an operating session with CN coming to deliver some cars to local industries, do some pickups and interchange with the Central Prairie Railway. So this train here is in staging and will come out and deliver the first 4 cars to the Central Prairie Railway's interchange and pick up the cars that are there. This last car, the grey hopper, is going to go on this industry spur here, and we're going to pick up this load of lumber and bring it with us as we leave back into staging. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is spot this hopper. So we're going to pull ahead for a little bit, drop our caboose, and then we'll put the hopper in the industry spur. Caboose dropped. So we pulled past the switch for the industry spur, and now we have to throw the switch, lock it, and then the conductor will get on the rear of the last car, hang off the ladder on the side, and signal that it was okay to back up. Two cars, one car, stop anywhere. The conductor is a little slow on that, so we can uncouple here. And at this point, the conductor will crank the handbrake to tie it down, and then we'll plan our next move. So we've got the 4 cars for the interchange on the train, and that's it. Still have to pick up the industry car, which is right there. But it might be simpler to switch the interchange right now while we have the 4 cars. So in order to do that, we have to have a place to put these. So my thinking is that maybe we will leave these cars here out of the way and go get the cars off the interchange and arrange them with these cars safely out of the way so that they're not taking up any space. So now the locomotive is running light out of the spur. He'll come out and stop for the conductor to set the switch. And put the lock in it to hold it. And then he's going to walk forward a little bit and line this one here, which is the switch for the interchange. I foresee we're going to have a little problem with running around the train, so not sure how I'm going to handle that, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so that's line and lock. We can go ahead and pick up the cars from the interchange. Get into a dirty switch. We did not make a joint. So the conductor will line up the couplers. Try again. We have a joint now. Now we have to get, this is what the way we want to leave, but we have to get get the other cars out and into this interchange. So that's kind of a challenge. So the first thing we need to do is put these cars out of the way so they're not in our way. So I think we need to run around them. So let's do that. Now the conductor will just stay on the ground here to throw the switch. Actually, no, he probably won't need to throw the switch. We'll leave the interchange track lined for the interchange. I'm going to go here and pick up the caboose. And then we're going to put these here, and we're going to run the engine around the train. So we've got the locomotive over here with the caboose on the tail end of it, and the train is on the main line, so we're going to run around it, and we're going to tack the caboose on the rear of the train, and then we're going to push the whole train into basically towards staging to get it out of the way, because we're going to need to run around the cars that are going to come out of the industry spur into the interchange. So here we go, running around. Tight quarters. So now we're coming in to pick up the cars. So the conductor will tie up the brake hoses and so forth, and we're going to pull it out and run around it so that we can push it into the interchange. Now, one thing I've noticed is that the interchange is, the runaround siding is a little short, so hopefully we can fit all 4 cars. If not, we'll have to run around 3 cars at a time. We fit around the other 4 cars before because one of them was short, but here we don't have a short car, so we'll see what happens. Normally the train crew would know. So I'm just going to eyeball it as I go by. I kind of think it's going to be too short, so I'm going to leave 1 car here. The conductor will come back and uncouple a car. Maybe. World's most boring video, watching someone try and uncouple a car. Here we go. Alright, and forward we go. Okay, then we'll back up. Sorry, back up. Leave that there. The conductor will unhook the air. Probably didn't need to put the air on in the first place. We'll not have much luck uncoupling. Alright, and then go forward. Throw the switch to go around the siding. And do the runaround. Now the locomotive has run around those 3 cars and is on the tail end, ready to push. And the conductor has lined the switch for the siding back to the main. You remember we left the switch for the interchange already lined for the interchange, so we can just push straight in. And then we'll stop and uncouple and come out. And then sadly we have to do the whole thing again for 1 car. This isn't very realistic, I guess, because the railway would normally have more than a 3-car or 4-car siding, but we work with what we have. Another option is to consider using the Cargill grain elevator to get that last car, so to run around because it's got a longer siding. So that, I guess, is a possibility. Alright, so we're going to back up and pick up that car. So now we're ready to pick up our car out of the team track, the loaded lumber car. So we've already pushed the car into the last car into the interchange, so all our work is done with the interchange. Now we have to get that one car of lumber and put it on our train, get around our train and go. Now the problem is we cannot get around our train intact because it is too long to fit in that siding. So what we're going to have to do is run around part of it and then take that part and shove it this way into the diamond crossing over the Central Prairie Railway, leave part of it there, run around the rest of it, shove it back, and then we should be ready to go. The alternative is to put the caboose on the lead end and shove all the way with the locomotive on the rear. And I don't know which one the railways would rather do. I don't think they'd like to shove that far, but on the other hand, they probably don't want to have this locomotive running long hood all the way either. So I don't know which way to do it, but I'm going to do a bunch of runaround moves and we'll do it that way. So first things first, go pick up the lumber car. So we're ready to roll. The conductor will throw the switch for the spur, put the lock in it, and he'll wait for the locomotive to come and then get on it. So he'll get on the locomotive here, and then he's got to go throw the switch for the other, for the team truck. And I thought I cleaned my tracks, but I think it's the locomotive that's dirty. So we stop here. The conductor is going to throw the switch, and then we'll go pick up the car. So we're sheepishly coming out with our car. One thing I want to do soon is to put some actual derails on these industry spurs, because they would have to be dealt with as well. Each industry spur would have its own derail so that cars couldn't roll onto the main line. So at this point, we throw the switch for this one, we'll leave that one against the plastic hopper spur, so that it basically acts as a derail there. And then here we're going to do some runaround moves, and I think I'll spare you watching all of these runaround moves, and we'll just come to the end result. So I will show you one interim move. I've run around the 3 cars. So here's the car we picked up, and then here's 2 cars from the interchange and the caboose. So we're going to push forward, couple onto these guys, and I'm going to make things a little easier for myself. I'm going to offset the coupler so that I'm not actually coupled to it, just pushing, like so. And we'll push that all the way down to the end of the track, basically to the diamond, and then come back and get the rest of the train and run around it. So there, we'll leave it there, pretend we uncoupled, and throw a handbrake on or so, and come back and get the rest of the train. And then we'll do the same run around again, and then mate the train up, and then we'll be ready to go. Now we've completed that tedious runaround move. The train is all together. By this time, the conductor has connected all the air hoses. They've done a complete brake test because they have new cars and everything's been shuffled around, so they have to do a full brake test. They've done that. The tail end brakeman has said everything looks okay that end. We're ready to roll. They've got their paperwork in order, and now we're ready to go. So to me this has been a good learning experience on the maximum train length that I can handle on CN here. And what I see is that 5 cars is tedious and a little too much. So we have to try to limit setouts and pickups so that we end up with 4-car trains at most, plus the caboose. So interchanging 4 cars, although they fit, is probably too much. So we'll either design it so we maybe just interchange and no other work, or interchange less cars and have other industry work as well. So it's been a good learning experience, and a good thought experiment too on how to run around a train like this. I mentioned I thought about doing it in the cargo elevator, which is off this track here. The siding there is not long enough for a 5-car train either, so it wouldn't have worked. So I did a little quick tape measure and it wouldn't have worked. So anyways, I had to run around twice, and it's tedious and annoying, but that's railroading sometimes. So thanks for watching, and CN-5610 Extra is on its way.